Hi, I'm Jeff Steinman, author of the new book, How to Quit Working and creator of the Lifestyle Master Plan. Now, if you're tired of your life being literally controlled by your full-time job or small business or whatever the thing is that you do to make money, then you better stick around, because in this video series, I'm going to show you exactly how you can build an income using what you know instead of just getting paid for what you do. Now, before we get started, I want to be really clear about something. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. I'm not going to promise you billions of dollars with internet marketing, and it certainly isn't one of those silly multi-level marketing business opportunities that don't make money for anybody. I know you're sick and tired of all that hype and empty promises, and there's going to be none of that here, because I think I probably hate it more than you do, actually. Now, I can certainly identify with what you're thinking, because I worked in the corporate world for over 15 years because, see, I thought that having a job was the only way that I could ever make a living. Now, I didn't hate what I was doing, but I just didn't really care that much about it either. I had to get up 5 days a week and do what felt like a daily death march into something that I had to do because I needed the money. But I didn't realize at the time that it was sucking the life out of me. You know, the only thing I looked forward to Monday through Friday was getting a cup of coffee from the gourmet coffee shop at my job. I mean, what kind of life is that? You know, I always knew that there was no chance in hell that I was actually going to get the lifestyle that I wanted working in corporate, even in the best of circumstances. And I kept telling myself it was going to work out, but something was always tugging at me, saying, you have to do something different, and there's something better for you out there. See, back in 2000, I was really feeling that tug. I always had this desire to be an entrepreneur, and the bug was really nibbling at me at the time. And then I was working in technology at a large financial institution, creating the websites that the customers used to see their accounts online. Now, that was really new, fancy stuff back then. Well, long story short, I decided to create some software that would let small businesses sell their stuff online. This would give me independence and allow me to do something that really got me excited and made me tons of money. I got it all figured out, and I finally gained the courage to resign from my full-time job to pursue this business. And I'd set up a meeting with my boss, and I will never forget, this was a Thursday morning at 8 a.m. 8 o'clock arrived, and I walked into this meeting with my boss, and I completely chickened out. I mean, completely. I'd made up some other excuse why I'd asked for the meeting. And what happened was my dream died that day. You know, I was really dead on the inside and just paralyzed with fear and dread of the life that I saw for myself. But I pushed on. I turned to hobbies, and I was still making good money, so I began to develop a taste for the finer things in life, like good food, fine wine, big house, vacations, and clothes, to make up for the fact that I'd really given up on ever being happy and having the life that I always wanted. And the life I wanted was one of freedom. I wanted to get up every morning and choose to do something that I love doing so much that I don't want to do anything else. And the stirring inside me continued. It became more than just a stirring. It actually became an intense pain. It was the pain of feeling like I'd given up on everything that matters to me and resigning myself to a life of mediocrity when I knew I deserved more. I actually ended up in a very deep depression. I'd kind of given up on everything, and I didn't know how I was ever going to continue. And by that point, I hated my job, but I felt completely trapped because I needed the money so bad. You know, my life had really expanded financially since 2000, so I was very dependent on that six-figure paycheck. But the only thing I knew how to do was read. Sort of reading business books, thinking this is the only thing that I can think of that might help me figure out where to go next. Well, it worked, because finally I struck gold. See, I discovered that you can make money with what you know instead of just getting paid for what you do. I learned that the knowledge in your head is valuable and people need it. You can package it up into products and books and CDs and DVDs, online training, and deliver it to large numbers of people. And the best part is that you don't even have to be there to market, sell, and deliver that knowledge to the people who want it. Now, I was in love with this idea, and I said, wow, this is it. I'm going to do this. You know, I wasn't going to need a lot of money to get started, and I can start it up slowly on the side while I worked my full-time job. First question, okay, what am I an expert on? So I asked myself this really important question. I said, okay, Jeff, what do people ask for your advice about? Now try asking yourself that question. What do people ask for your advice about? Now for me, the answer was clear. I had rehabbed 2 houses and my biggest hobby was working on my 100-year-old house. And that is what people called me with questions or wanting my advice about. You know, Jeff, can you come over and help me replace this faucet? Or Jeff, do I really need to use primer before I paint? So I said, that's it. I am a do-it-yourself home improvement expert. My shingle was hung, and now I just had to get people to know who I was and actually buy stuff from me. Well, I've been inspired to replace my income with my knowledge, but suddenly I realized I have no idea how to do this. So I bought every online training course, coaching, consulting, and attended every seminar and so on that you can possibly imagine to learn how to get known and actually make money with what you know. I spent almost $50,000 and failed miserably. And I can laugh about that now. But see, all these products and programs that I was buying were just giving me part of the picture. They were giving me little bits of the pie, but I needed the whole pie. I was learning about marketing and internet technologies and pricing and positioning, social media, product creation, PR, and on and on. I don't have enough fingers. But I needed a way to put all these little pieces together and get them to work as a whole cohesive strategy. So I took the best of all the best information that I'd learned and I put it together into a simple, easy to follow system that I call the Lifestyle Master Plan. It was a game changer. Now that I knew exactly how to do this, I could just follow the steps. So now I was on the ground running. And then when I started telling people what I was doing, they started approaching me for help. They wanted to know what I knew. The craziest thing that happened was they started offering to pay me. So I made an important decision. I scrapped the DIY home improvement thing and created a company that helps people to get known and use what they know to create a life of freedom. Now, eventually, the best thing ever happened. Remember back in 2000 when I scheduled that meeting with my boss to resign and I chickened out? Well, I tried it again, and this time it was a little different, and I videotaped it. Watch this.
This is Ron.
Hey, Ron, this is Jeff. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Yourself, Jeff?
Good, good. So I've got a little bit of news for you. I am resigning effective the 13th of April.
Okay.
So Friday the 13th, a week from this Friday, will be my last day.
Okay. I'm assuming you found another opportunity?
Actually, I am. I've been working on my own business for a couple years now, and it's the time was finally right to make the transition.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I did not sleep one wink last night. I'll be perfectly honest. This moment is actually a culmination of a lot of planning and a lot of preparation over, really like 15 years. When you really look back at kind of where my head. A little different this time. April 13th, 2012 was the last day I ever worked. I now pay the bills with my knowledge, not by selling the precious hours in my day. I work where I want, whether that's my home office, a New York apartment, my kitchen table, my aunt and uncle's house in New Mexico, a coffee shop, or the Caribbean. It's my choice. I work when I want, and that's not early in the morning. No more getting up at the crack of dawn and rushing through my workout in order to get to work on time. I build my work schedule around the important things like my personal health. I work how I want, which means I use the things I love to do, like speaking and writing, to promote my business. Now, this is my favorite. I work with whom I want. Whether it's contractors, employees, or strategic partners, I can completely cut ties with people for no reason other than I just don't feel like working with them. Sometimes I can't believe that I have that luxury after 15 years of dealing with the cocky managers, egos, and all the other goofballs that I had to tolerate in the corporate world. You can also work why you want. Now, is there something that you know that you truly believe other people would be better off if they knew it as well. This is your chance to contribute to the world by showing that thing to other people. See, I have something like that. I believe that way too many people are giving up on their dreams, chickening out like I did in that conference room back in 2000. And it's time for someone to step up and say, enough is enough. You deserve to live a life that is intentionally structured around what you want. Not taking all the things that you really care about and just fitting them in around your job or small business, only if there's room. And then promising yourself that you'll do all the things that really matter after you retire and you're too old to enjoy them anyway. Imagine being able to change the focus of your life from being built around how you make money to being built around what you want. Can you imagine? I mean, I'm here to tell you it's amazing. It doesn't matter what you want to open up space in your life for. Maybe it's time with your kids or grandkids or taking care of elderly parents, or maybe you want to spend a lot more time helping a not-for-profit, or maybe you just want to spend more time trout fishing. It doesn't matter. See, like me, there might even be something you don't even know about, and it would happen if you just had the freedom to be able to pursue it. I discovered last year that I love kayaking. You can have this life. You can do this. It's not hard. It's not about what you know, because even if you think you don't have any knowledge that can be monetized, there's many ways to get that knowledge quickly and easily. But most likely you have it. You just don't value it enough. Now, I'd like to tell you a story about a conversation that I had recently. I have a client who has a ton of passion for and expertise in public speaking. And I was encouraging her to get serious about monetizing that knowledge. And she didn't believe that it was possible because she wasn't as good as another local guru. We were having this conversation in a restaurant with 25 or so other people. And what I said to her was this: okay, look around this room and tell me who in this room of about 25 people knows the most about public speaking. And she said, well, me. And then I said, okay, if you took the entire population of the St. Louis area and ranked them by how much they know about public speaking, where would you rank? Probably the top 5, she says. What about nationally? She says, maybe the top 10%. And I said, exactly. So at that moment, her whole mentality changed. You don't have to know more than everyone. You just have to know more than someone. When I was networking and attending training and events, people were asking me questions and asking for my help, but I couldn't fathom why. Because I considered myself a student on the subject. And then when I agreed to help and they started wanting to give me money, I saw what was happening. While I still felt like I was a student, I knew considerably more than they did. Now, I've included a worksheet below that will ask you a few questions and guide you to figuring out what knowledge you have that you can monetize. And the first step to replacing your income with what you know is to figure out what is it that you know that other people want or need. You can get that worksheet by clicking the link below called What Do I Know? Take the time to fill that out because it's the first step to building the life that you've always wanted. I'm here to show you how to do this, and I'm going to do that in this free video series. And I'm going to show you how to do it without having to take out a second mortgage in your house, a huge loan, and just hope for the best. Because that is no way to build a life of freedom. And there's a much better way. I'm going to show you that in the next video. And I'll send that out in just a few days, so stay tuned. But until then, fill out that worksheet and leave me a comment below. Tell me, what do you know more about than 90% of the general population? And don't change yourself on this. This is your life we're talking about. I read and respond to all of these comments, so tell me what's on your mind. I want to hear from you. I'll see you in a few days.